These are not circumstances that we ever envisioned holding a press conference for. We lost a member of our family yesterday. Tyler Skaggs was a teammate, was a brother, a friend, and most important of all, he was a husband and a son. He was an exceptional young man with an entire life so full of promise, yet to live. For some reason that is incomprehensible to all of us, he lives on now only in our minds and in our hearts. Tyler brought joy to everybody around him. He was magnetic. People were drawn to him. He was generous and kind, and our team will never be the same without him. But forever, we've been made better by him. We are truly grateful to have had the honor to watch him grow and develop over the years. You know, grief is personal to all of us. It doesn't have a timeline, it doesn't have a roadmap. But what is most important is that we'll all be here for each other as a team, as an organization, and as a family. I cannot truly begin to say how much we're going to miss Tyler, and we will do everything to honor his memory. We ask that you all please keep Carly, his mother Debbie, father Daryl, and all of his family and friends and his loved ones in your thoughts and prayers. That's all.
There are no words to express our sadness today. We want to offer our deepest condolences to Tyler, his wife Carly, his mom and dad, all of his family and friends. Thank you to everyone, especially our fans, for the tremendous outpouring of love and support we received for Tyler, his wife, and his family, and the Angels. We especially want to thank Ray, Neil, John, Chris, and the Rangers Baseball Club for the respect and dignity they have shown to the Skaggs family and our organization. I also want to thank Commissioner Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball, our fellow MLB clubs for their support, sympathy, and kindness. Our hearts go out to his wife Carly, his family, and all of those who loved him. We will continue to be there for them during this difficult time. Thank you.
We'll open it up for questions. Again, state your name and affiliation, please.
Pedro Gomez with ESPN. Brad and Billy, I guess this is more for you guys, but what was the decision made to play tonight's game?
Yeah, I talked with some of the guys on the club, and at some point when they're ready, they can elaborate on that. But it felt, and again, I don't want to speak for them, but it felt that, one, it was what Tyler would want, and also that it's a time to allow them to get back into a routine and to have a period of time where they feel disconnected. A lot of problems go away when the first pitch is thrown until the last pitch is thrown. And these guys will be there fighting for each other, with Tyler weighing heavy on their hearts tonight. I can tell you that.
The first day back, whether it was today or tomorrow, was going to be one of the toughest, other than yesterday. So I think what Billy hit the nail on the head, in the sense that the game itself can be a refuge for players, where they can turn their minds off and just focus on baseball. And I don't know that sitting in a hotel room would do them any good.
Jeff Fletcher, Orange County Register. Brad, can you talk a little about what happened yesterday and the way you guys kind of supported each other in the last 24 hours?
Yeah. You know, the team all got together a couple times, and some of the guys spoke, but I think most importantly, in the end, we were able to talk about Tyler and laugh about some of the stories and some of the goofy things he did, listen to some of his music. So it was good.
Next question.
For Billy or Brad, for people who didn't have a chance to know Tyler Skaggs, what do you want them to know about him as a person?
He was consistent with everybody. I'm telling you, I got an email this morning from Dr. Elatraj, who did his surgery, and Dr. Elatraj made a point to comment in there about how he treated everybody that came into operating rooms, came into waiting rooms, everybody that he encountered. I can speak to people that work inside of our clubhouse. I can speak to people that work outside of our clubhouse. So many people looked at Tyler as, like I said, like a brother and a son, even though they might not have a relationship with him, or a family relationship with him. So I think his reach and his impact, I think everybody's going to discover over the coming weeks, the coming months, because the outpouring that we have felt and that we've experienced has been pretty remarkable. He impacted a lot of people and the community. He was a staple in our community, with all of the efforts of the Angels throughout Southern California. So there's so many people that knew Tyler and loved Tyler. I've yet to run into somebody who hasn't.
Brad, Mike DiGiovanni with the LA Times. Have you reached out to Mike Socha or anybody else on just how to be able to support these players and this team through such a tragedy?
I've had a lot of people reach out to me, including managers who have gone through similar. To a man, it's the same advice, and that is there's no handbook for this. And you just kind of got to go with your honest feelings. I don't think if you do that, I think there's then you're not going to be wrong.
Hi, Fabio Diaz, The Athletic. Brad, I know you said when you first took this job that Tyler was one of the first people you reached out to, and you spoke highly about sort of what you thought he could be. And just, what was the process like for you just getting to know him as a person as well as a pitcher?
I knew Skaggs a little bit from last year, being around the ball club. But yeah, once I was hired, I had lunch with him up in Santa Monica, one of the spots he liked to go, and I did. I told Skaggs I thought he could be an all-star, and I still think he can. But he's just, the more I'm around him, or the more I was around him, he's just a happy person. He's got the type of personality that draws others in. Like I said, he's kind of he's goofy in a very good, funny way. He's this road trip to Dallas, he came up to me 4 or 5 days before and said, "Hey, we're going to Texas for 2 series. Do you care if we all dress up in Western gear or cowboy gear?" So he kind of spearheaded that, and that's one of the last pictures we have of Skaggs is with his teammates, all dressed up in cowboy gear. And the last image I have him is standing on a plane with this awful cowboy shirt on, playing cards. So I'll miss him.
Brad, I know you played with Darryl Kyle with the Astros, and although you were not his teammate at the time he passed, can you kind of talk about what it's like to try to persevere as a player when you have something like that happen?
Yeah, this feels identical. It really does. Now I don't have to go on the field, but it's very similar. Like I said, it was the once the game starts, it actually is a refuge because it takes your mind off it. It distracts you for a little while, and then when you go back to your hotel room, you're reminded of reality. But it helped me get away, and it's hard. Today's one of the hardest days, and I know it gets easier, but it's difficult.
Artie, this is for you. This is twice in 10 years now when you go back to Nick Adenhart.
Right.
Neither Billy nor Brad were here for that. What is this like compared to Nick?
Billy called me, and man, it's like a punch in the heart. It just, you really don't, you're so in shock when you're told, because he's been with us 10 years. He was drafted by us in '09. And, these kids are like family. And for any parent that they have children, first thing you think is, how is somebody going to respond to losing a child? And so the first thing, Billy called, and when they called me on, Tim called me on Adenhart, probably about 5 in the morning, and the same feeling. You can't believe it, and you keep thinking someone's there, and they're not there. But the team is such a family, and when you take a piece away from the family, there's always a hole, and the players have a special bond when they lose one of their players that they've been so comfortable with for all these years. So when we look at it as an organization, I had to let my wife know, who's known, Tyler also, because he's always been such a gentleman, walking up to say hello. So, from the ownership side, it's family, and all our fans feel the same way. So the outpouring, what we've seen, is, people from everywhere, texting, calling, sending wishes. And so I feel so sad for the family. Like I said, everybody's just been, trying to rally around and be as supportive to Tyler's family and to the Angels, and that's where we are today.
Couple more guys.
For any guys, what is the plan in terms of how to honor Tyler moving forward? I know there was a lot done 10 years ago.
We're doing similar stuff that we did in '09 when Nick passed away. Similar to Brad, I went through that with Nick in '09, and like I say, there's not a playbook, but there's a lot of similar things that you do to try to honor him. You're never going to honor him enough. The way we'll honor him most is just, watching these guys play. And, as far as the stadium, just typical with patch and all that. But honoring them so much more with our thoughts and our hearts is the most important thing.
For those of you guys up there, if you guys did address the players, I was just kind of wondering if you could share what your message to the players was.
With all due respect, Dylan, anything that's said to the players is between us. Like we've talked about, it's family, so that's a family conversation.
Obviously, the baseball world, beyond just the Angels, has expressed a lot of feelings for this. What has that support meant to you guys to come from the other 29 teams?
Yeah, I personally heard from a lot of GMs and players that have played here in the past, and then seeing, through some social media channels, people reaching out. It just kind of drives home an earlier answer I gave. This kid's reach was pretty vast. It wasn't just for the other guys like him. It was for people that just came into contact with him. So it just validates everything we thought about Tyler. I would say that, his mom, his upbringing, it shows. This kid's good stock.
There's so many people, Jeff, still in the league, that Tyler touched. Pitching coach for the Diamondbacks, Mike Butcher. Socia reached out. Tony Riggins with MLB. Eddie Baines, a scout for the Red Sox. There's, he was drafted in '09, so he's been there since 10 years. I know Patrick Corbin's pitching tonight in Washington, and they were close friends. So it goes deep. Baseball and sports is a close knit group, and everybody, we've had an outpouring of calls and texts from various people.
Brad, how difficult of a task does this feel that you have? Given that you're obviously grieving yourself, yet you're the guy that's in charge here, and your job is to lead this group of players.
Yeah, we're kind of all in the same boat on this one. We all feel tremendous loss. We understand that life has to go on and the baseball season has to go on, and it'll move forward at different paces for different guys. But this is just a reminder that professional athlete or not, we're all human, and it can strike us the same. So these guys will get ready to play. They'll be ready to play, but it'll be with heavy hearts, and it'll be with heavy hearts probably for a while. But as far as wearing the manager hat, I'm just wearing a hat right now. I'm just wearing an Angel hat.